this is illegal, you can't do this. Well, actually it's 100% legal because look at the paperwork you signed. If the custodian or the bank were to go insolvent, they would be the first to get paid back before we would. That is exactly how it works with our finances, with our money if it's invested in a bank or custodian. Because what happens is,
why don't you walk us through just briefly, if you would, what does it mean, this change that they've made in the UCC around the country, and what are the mechanics of how this great taking, this heist would work?
There's a metaphor that I've been using with different clients. It's probably the easiest one to explain this. So imagine if you're gonna go buy yourself a new Lexus, right? And you're excited, you've been saving for months, and you get all the cash, and you go to the Lexus dealer, and you pick out your Lexus, you pay for it in cash, you sign the paperwork, you're driving home, and it feels so good, it's so smooth, and it smells so great. And you get home, you park, you're so excited because you're gonna go on a road trip the next day with your new car. You go to sleep, you wake up the next morning, you look out the window, and the Lexus is gone. And you're freaking out, and you're like, oh my gosh, you call the Lexus dealer, and you say, guys, we have a problem. My Lexus has been stolen. And they're like, well, actually, you did pay for it outright. It is your property, but by you coming to our dealer and you signing this paperwork, whether you knew it or not, you actually gave us the ability to pledge your Lexus as collateral for some risky bets that we wanted to do as a dealership. And we did those risky bets, and it didn't go our way. We're going insolvent, and that third party, yeah, they took your Lexus as collateral, and there's nothing you can do about it. Sorry. And you're like, what the heck, dude? This is illegal. You can't do this. Well, actually, it's 100% legal because look at the paperwork you signed. Or it wasn't you that signed it, it was your local legislator that signed it. That is exactly how it works with our finances, with our money if it's invested in a bank or custodian. Because what happens is, when you give a bank or custodian your money, they take your money and it becomes pooled through the DTC, the Depository Trust Company out of New York. And there's over 800 different banks and custodians that use the DTC. Now, once it's pooled at the DTC, we are no longer the private property holder. So back in the day, Alex, if you, let's say, had $1 million at Fidelity and it was in Oracle stock, let's say, and I had $1 million at Fidelity in Oracle stock as well. Well, back in the day, we had our own little certificate. That was our private property. It was physical, it was tangible. Well, when they digitalized everything and they changed some of these laws, now what happens is when the Oracle stock is pooled at the DTC, we are no longer the private property holder. We are what's called an entitlement holder. We have a pro rata interest in that stock. Now, everything's groovy, everything's fine as long as Fidelity doesn't go sideways. But if Fidelity decides, you know what, we want to grow our business. We want to engage in some derivatives contracts or some options contracts or some speculative bets, or we need a bigger loan. And you have another party, like let's say a JP Morgan, that steps in and says to Fidelity, no problem, Fidelity. We'll fulfill the options contract. We'll fulfill a derivatives contract. We'll give you a loan, but we are going to need some collateral. Now, what is Fidelity going to use as collateral? They're going to use your and my private Oracle stock. Now, again, as long as the bets pay off, Fidelity gets to keep the profits. But if the bets don't pay off and Fidelity goes insolvent, that is where our assets can be legally taken because of the way the rules are written in the Uniform Commercial Code in Article 8. Now, again, it sounds ridiculous, except for it's happened over 100 times in our country already. We're documenting this in the movie, all the different legal battles. Conservatively, tens of billions of dollars has been stolen, and plausibly upwards of over 100 billion has been taken in these different court cases.